Hello. Hello, guys. Welcome back. Sorry, I was putting some things on the setting, and that's why I didn't reply. Hello, Juan. Hello, guys. Welcome back to this new live streaming dedicated, of course, to my opinions and thoughts of episode 7 of Shingeki no Kyojin. Look, season 4. Okay, let's wait a few seconds so you can join me, and then we start as always. Look, this time it would be a little bit different, my opinions and thoughts, because I wanted to analyze each character we saw in this episode. Hello, Edward. I wanted to tell you must watch the card of episode 59 of season 3. Okay, thank you for the suggestion. Maybe in the rewatch, you tell me once again, and I'm going to watch it. Okay, but anyway, I wanted to analyze each character because in this episode we see that we have all the characters and different thoughts, different opinions regarding all of them. So I wanted to, is important. Okay, during the rewatch, I'm going to watch it on Thursday. But anyway, I wanted to analyze all characters. Then I wanted to tell you my opinions and thoughts, generally speaking, because we have many things to say. And then I wanted to tell you all the things I liked in this episode. So I think for 2 hours, more or less, we are busy here. Sorry, it will be maybe quite long, but as you all know, I like to comment. I like to say what I thought, and it's really nice for me to tell you all of my opinions. Then during the rewatch, we are going to have the day after tomorrow. Over there, I can adjust something, or I can put some other thoughts on this episode. So feel free to watch me also in that case, because sometimes new ideas, new thoughts are coming out. So feel free to follow me. Okay, I think it's better if we start. This episode was something crazy. Let me say it honestly. I think for this season, that was one of the most important till now, together with the previous one. But I think it's also the best one, and for many reasons. Okay. Let's start analyzing all characters first. I wanted to start, yes, look, as always, I have lots of notes here, so I wanted to follow one direction only, so I don't want to forget anything. But anyway, I wanted to start with the Galliard, because he is also the first character we see once we start this episode. What to say about Galliard? Look, once again, there is this repetition of this scene we saw the previous week, in which there is this attack of Chosahedan, and then these Levi's eyes coming towards him. Let me say, Galliard was overestimating himself. He was so sure about himself. Too much, in my opinion. And I think this is the perfect example of a person who is trusting himself so much, and it's not something bad. But at the same time, when you overestimate yourself, then something is happening that proves you wrong. And we saw this in this episode, but even in the previous one. But I have to say, in this episode, most of the time, so we saw this, because Galiard is so sure. Galiard, he thinks that a Titan can be unbeatable, can be invincible, also because of what the other people told him about this Titan's power, about the fact that if you become a Titan, then you are invincible and you you're not going to be defeated, especially from a paradise, because paradise is nothing. So they are always better than them, and for this reason, there is not even a chance that he's going to be defeated. We see the contrary here, and this happens in many uh, events in our life. When we are too sure about something, then there is something else or somebody else that is proving that we are overestimating ourselves. And for some reasons, when you overestimate yourself, for some reasons, that's a good thing to do. Because every time there are people who try to underestimate ourselves, who are trying to say we are inferior and stuff like that. But at the same time, we should know our limits too. But in Galliard's point of view, this is really hard to do because he was instructed like this, and he was always thinking that no way. The Titans are so strong, so we can't be defeated. And these certainty, even Peak has this certainty, but then we are going to talk about Peak too, of course. They think that no one is going to beat them, but they are wrong. Because, as I said many times, when you don't know something, you can't describe it, you can't be sure of it. And Galliard has never met Paradise people, has never encountered them. And the fact that he's seeing in front of his eyes the end of his life, or the end or the failure of his entire life, that's a catastrophe. Try to imagine. I mean, let's put ourselves in Galliard's position for 1 second. You have a precise idea of your life, and you have a precise idea of what a Titan is, and you have a precise idea of the fact that you are stronger than them for sure. But then suddenly everything you believed in is falling apart, is falling down, and your life is ruined in few seconds. All the purposes, all the missions, or the credentials, or all the ideas, everything is falling down. He was also the first person to criticize Reiner to be inferior than him. He was the first one to underestimate Reiner for everything he did. He was underestimating him just because he was chosen as a Titan, do you remember? But now, as a karma thing, let's say, everything is turning upside down because at least Reiner could come back from Paradise. And probably if Galliard went over there, who knows if he could come back? We will never know. But that's for fact. You shouldn't overestimate yourself too much, because something can happen that can tell you, look, you're wrong. And in this episode, oh yeah, we see this sort of a disillusion by looking at Galliard's eyes. I think that was really intense, and Mappa for sure underlines this. I mean, thanks to the eyes, to the detail of his eyes, you can see the failure, the disillusion, the meaningless moments of his life, going on and on and on. Galliard, yeah, then he tries throughout all this episode to protect his comrades, I mean his team, but he is overestimating the Ackerman somehow, because even if he knows from Reiner's point of view that they are strong, at the same time he's saying, look, there is an Ackerman, I'm going to defeat them, or something like that. Then he's going to protect the beast titan, a peak, whatever. He's going to protect even a peak from the attack of the Chosahedan later. But um, what was really sad was when Eren was trying to attack him and to try to destroy the cocoon, okay, in which there's inside the Warhammer owner. And when you hear that Yamero, I mean that stop it, please stop it, he's screaming a lot. And those type of screamings, they remind me of episode 1 of season 1, when Eren was seeing his mother, who was eating in front of who was eaten, sorry, in front of his eyes. And also in that case, Eren is saying Yamera or something like that. That screaming, that sort of a scream is the same, but in a different context. And I think Eren didn't stop. Okay, we are going to talk about Eren really soon, but I think Eren didn't stop because at that time, that Titan that was eating his mother didn't stop too. And or when Hannes was eaten in that moment, the same Titan. That was strange. Yes, this is life. Um, in that moment too, nobody stopped that moment, and I think Eren, in that specific moment when he is trying to smash Galliard's head, he, if he is still thinking, because then we are going to talk about it. But if he is still thinking, he's saying, at that time nobody stopped anything, so why should I stop right now? That could be a possibility. But anyway, yeah, you heard the pain of Galliard in that moment, and you know that something bad is happening for sure. So Galliard is passing from a moment in which he is almighty. He seems almighty because he knows everything. He's so powerful. He's stronger than anyone. He he's so convinced of his skills. Nobody can be like him. He deserved to be a titan first, etc., 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 etc. But then we see the opposite thing. That means we see the failure of his character somehow. So life is unpredictable, and you should be prepared of things like this. And when he says, "Oh no, come on," at the beginning he said, "No, they don't have a plan. They came here just to attack." And then in this episode we see that the contrary, because he's saying, "Actually, probably they got a plan." Yes. So you should think what's about to happen, but at that time, he didn't. He didn't project anything in his mind, and he was not ready at all because they were too convinced. And when there's this moment in which you're too much convinced, something wrong is happening. And yeah, here we see that something wrong happened for sure. I want to talk about this Warhammer owner. I mean, Lara or Lala. We still have to understand, but Tiber. I was really impressed when I saw that even from the cocoon, she can move her eyes and she can attack somehow. I mean, with this Yoroi, with this armored skill, she can still create things and she can attack even if she's inside. That was really nice to see because the abilities of the Warhammer Titan, they are multiple. I mean, they are more than one. And the fact that now Eren owns all these abilities, it's really nice. I think the Warhammer is one of the strongest Titan till now because so many abilities in one. And I think the problem of Lara or Lala Tiber was that she was not training too much. I mean, she was not the perfect owner for a Titan, in my opinion. And that's why even at this battle between Eren and her, it was not lasting longer than usual, or we couldn't see her in action so much because I think she was not the perfect owner for this. And probably if there was another person, or even Willy instead of her, probably the battle would have lasted longer. Maybe that's just my opinion. But yeah, it's quite strong, this Titan. And then, okay, we are going to talk about later about Eren, of course, but when she couldn't do anything else rather than waiting for her end, I felt it because you know that you're about to die. As always, here in Shingeki no Kyojin, there is always this theme when the few seconds before dying, or when you know you're about to die. And as I told you in the other commentary of the previous week, all people have different reactions. All people behave differently when they have their few seconds and then they are going to die. There are many examples. We have Mike, we have Erwin, we have even Levi, even if he's not dead. And I hope he's not going to die. But anyway, we see so many characters, even Eren, sometimes it happens. We see these characters in front of death, and those a few seconds before their death, or even Petra, all the others. I mean, the list is really long, okay? But I wanted to underline this. When there are the few seconds before death, you see all these characters having different reactions, and some of them they are really sad, some others they are really logical, or they think about things. Other characters they don't move at all, but they can speak with their own eyes or their facial expressions. So there are different ways here. Lala or Lara Tiber, she's not moving because she's inside the cocoon, and that's a limitation, okay? But at the same time, her eyes, they are not moving too, and you understand that she knows, and she's really afraid too. She knows that she's about to die because there is nothing else to do, and she also is scared because her eyes are wide open. And I don't think it's just because of the cocoon. I think when, for example, when she's moving her eyes throughout the episode, she's not moving just because she's inside the cocoon, right? The crystal, there's a sort of crystal cocoon. But at the end, you see that her eyes are wide open because she knows, okay, now I think it's time. I think I don't have anything else to do. So right now in front of me, there's death. And maybe I just have to accept it. I mean, I can't do anything else anymore. So there's no other thing to do rather than accept that my time is done. This is really sad too, because when you don't know what to do anymore, it's really sad. Try to let's put ourselves in her position. I don't think that was really easy or really nice to see death in that way. And then when she was eaten, I mean, when she was swallowed or eaten or whatever, that scene in which you see that Eren is eating her in that way, it was like a horror movie. That was really gloomy and it was really dark. It was really dark and really hard to see. And I think Mappa made it also in that case, because you see the brutality the cruelty of that specific action. And yeah, bye bye, Lala or Lara. Now Eren has another power, and he gained, I think, one of the strongest powers till now. Because the Warhammer, I wanted to underline this. Yes, the Warhammer, in my opinion, is one of the strongest Titan till now. And so he gained something that it will be really useful in the future, I guess. And yeah, I mean, if he's going on like this, he's going to collect all the other Titans probably, or those other Titans are going to help him anyway. And if we go on like this, I want to say it once again, this will remind me of Naruto when he had to collect all the Biju and then finish somehow the war. Look, then we are going to analyze this theme. I mean, the theme of a war that is usually used in shonen. But okay, and then let's go on talking about the Beast Titan. Mm, Zeke. Look, I still feel suspicious. There are so many things I don't get. I mean, I don't understand. I was waiting for a battle between him and Levi that was totally different. I mean, I didn't see him in action as in season 3, part 2. And that makes me understand, and that confirms me that sometimes or somehow he is on the side of a paradise. And he, as I was saying already multiple times weeks ago, if he's following what Grisha told him to do, this is so clear to me. The way he was coming out from nowhere. I mean, he was supposed to be next to the gates. Do you remember? And then he's coming like this, as if I didn't feel him on their side. I mean, I didn't feel Zeke staying on the side of Marley in this episode. Not at all. Then okay, when he also said, Eren is not my enemy. In that part, he stopped. I mean, before saying, Eren is not my enemy, there is someone else first. Between these two sentences, there was a break, a long break. That makes you understand, in my opinion, that he is on their side. And if I'm right, this is one of the best plot twists, because we have always gone against Zeke for all the things he did. And I'm pretty sure, look, as much as I said for Kruger, as much as I said for Eren, I can say it also for Zeke. I think he played a role throughout all these years, and this made him suffer. And it was really suffering what he did. And he regrets for what he did, but he was forced to do what he did in order to go on with his plan. It's always like this. If we think about Kruger, he did the same. He confirmed this. I mean, he said, look, I'm doing this, and I'm not happy to do this, but I have to do this. Eren is doing the same somehow, even if he's doing bad things. And even Zeke made bad choices and he did bad things. But if we try to understand the general plan, I mean, from an outside perspective, if we try to understand the general plan they are going to follow, I can understand even Armin somehow when he has always said that we have to sacrifice something in order to reach the goal. But we are going to talk about Armin too. In this case, I can see Zeke that he's staying on Paradis' side more than ever. And I was happy to understand this somehow. I hope I understand it right. But I was happy to understand it 2 episodes ago or 3 episodes ago. If you didn't go, if you didn't watch it, you can go and check it out. They are still on the channel. All the commentaries, all the rewatches. But yeah, Zeke, he's not on Marley's side. No. When he said that Eren is not my enemy, he's confirming once again, look, next time I'm coming to save you, in my opinion. It has the same meaning. Then there was a break, guys. Between these two sentences, there was a break. So it's impossible, okay? It's impossible Zeke is going against Eren. Then, okay, he used Levi because he said, oh, Eren is not my enemy. Break. There is something else, somebody else first. Okay. I don't believe you. I mean, no. You're just on the Paradise side. And for some reasons, if I'm right, I'm also a little bit sad because I understood it before seeing it with my own eyes, and it's no more a plot twist to me. I mean, it was a plot twist 2 or 3 weeks ago when I tried to realize this or when I was confused. But right now, to me, it's something clear. I don't think, I mean, probably Zeke was at the gate because he was helping Hanji with the Zeppelin, or he was helping Armin somehow. That was too strange. Um, and then, another thing that it was so suspicious is that Zeke is waiting that Levi is attacking him. No way. If we compare season 3 part 2 with this, he if we still were in season 3 part 2, he didn't want to wait anything. No way. So the fact that he's also acting at the beginning of this season by saying that Levi, oh, he's really scared of Levi, or that baseball ball. Okay, now I get this. There are too many things, and I wanted to thank one more time the videos with my mother because thanks to them in these weeks, I could have the possibility to rewatch season 3 part 2, especially the last episodes. And the fact that I watched those episodes in this moment helped me understanding a lot about Zeke's character and what he's doing. I think he's on their side. And wow. Then when he's attacked by Levi, I mean, in 1 second, Levi was awesome as always. But if it's a part of the plan, they tricked the others, and that's a great plan because Peak, Galliard, and all the others believed what they saw. But the fact that it was attacked like that, that was too easy. Everything was too easy, in my opinion. So Zeke, that's why I think Zeke is acting. And if I have to think about all the pain he lived, let's put ourselves right now in Zeke's position. He suffered a lot too, because if he had to act throughout all his life, it's really hard. Okay, he followed what his father said or what his father asked him to do, but it was not easy. If he was acting throughout all of this time, Zeke was seeing his father be going to paradise. He saw his family destroyed. He destroyed many lives. And I don't think it's easy. I think you have this amount of regrets and this amount of pain that you can't count it. I mean, it's not countable. It's too much. So I was tricked. I mean, throughout all these seasons since he appeared in season 2, I was tricked because I thought, okay, Zeke was evil and Zeke was on their side, but I don't believe it anymore. No, no, no. Sorry to say, but no. And it seems as if we have another Fukuro. We have another owl once again. I mean, last time, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I was talking about these owls. I mean, these spies, these people who are conspirators inside Marley's world. And one was Kruger. He confirmed it. Then we have Eren. He was another owl somehow because he spent 3 or 4 years in Marley trying to hide himself and his identity. And now we have even Zeke. He was another owl. We are surrounded by owls here. And they are all coming from a Jaeger, I mean the Jaeger family, because somehow, even Grisha was an owl. Even if he was on this side, I mean on Paradise side, and he didn't have all the memories collected because there was this, I mean, his memories were erased when he reached the Paradise. But we have this theme of spies or conspirators or this theme of owls. And it's so nice to see that also in this case, the story is going on and on, repeating itself the same over and over again. Also for this reason, I mean, if we check this is unbelievable because this story helps you understand that there are many subjects that are repeating over and over again. It's not just one theme or it's not just one subject. We have so many things involved here and they are going on as a loop, never ending over and over again. And the owl is an example, is a subject that is repeating over and over again. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I don't want to know. But from what I saw, Zeke, I mean, his attack was not the same as a season 3 part 2. So there has to be a reason because I can't explain. Okay, he threw the rocks as always, but it was not, the intensity was not the same. It was, okay, let me do it because as if I have to do it. Then Levi had this clock in his hand. I mean, why did he have to wait a specific time to attack? Did they make a plan together? I mean, did they say, okay, Zeke probably told him, look, at that time, you have to attack me. When it's that time, you will attack me. As if everything is projected, everything was planned together. That's what I felt. Look, it's crazy. I was tricked totally. And since the season 3 part 2, when I should have paid attention at that time. I mean, I should have paid attention to Grisha's words when he said, Zeke, from now on, you have to stay on Marley's side. You have to pretend to be on their side and go on like this. At that time, I should have paid attention to that, and I should have thought or said, "Look, Zeke is acting. That's it." But at that time, when I saw Zeke against Erwin and all the others, my emotions were too big. I mean, I was emotionally going on by watching the series, by watching the seasons without caring about that thing that was essential. Then, okay, the baseball ball, I got it. Then next time I'm coming to save you. Even that sentence, it was always a question mark. But if we go back, we understand it clearly. That was made all on purpose. And Zeke has never wanted to attack Eren or to attack Paradise because he had another plan And probably, okay, I feel sorry because Erwin was sacrificed here, but even Erwin wanted other people to sacrifice. So also in this case, there is this never-ending loop: sacrifice, the sacrifice, the sacrifice, that is repeating all over again, even in this episode. But yeah, no, I'm totally convinced right now. Zeke is on their side. Otherwise, look, if he's not on their side, he was not so powerful as he seemed to be. Is it because his life is about to end really soon and maybe the power is decreasing? I don't think so. I don't think so. But look, even Kruger, at the end of his power, at the end of his life, he was a bit tired. Do you remember? I mean, when he was talking to Grisha and suddenly he felt so tired and he said, look, my power is vanishing really soon. So it's better if I give you my Titan, okay? Is it because even Zika is ending his life and that's why he feels more tired than season 3 part 2? Maybe, but I still don't believe it. I think he says some sentences on purpose. And if you remember, look, check it clearly. When Zeke is appearing with the Beast Titan, did you see Megadeth's face? The face of Magato, I mean Megadeth. Did you see it? He was looking at him. I mean, he was deeply looking at him as if he's not believing it. Don't you think? Go and check it out. Okay, look, in 2 days we're about to rewatch the episode, but check Megat's eyes when he's seeing the Beast Titan appearing. I don't think he's believing him at all. So, Zeke, welcome to our side, if there are some sides. But let's say welcome to Paradise sides. But since when are you on this side? He sacrificed himself too, and he felt lots of pain too. I don't think for Zika this was a really nice life. He had to trick other people, in this case, Peak, Galliard, and all the others. He faked to stay on their side and he instructed them to become titans. I think this is really heavy to manage. Personally, individually speaking, with your feelings, it's really heavy because you are betraying some other people and you are killing other people. You are staying on that side, but you have to pretend to stay on this side. This is really hard to do. Let's see what's going to happen, but now I think it's really clear that Zeke is not on Marle's side. I mean, he's not trying to honoring Marle. No, no. Okay, we will see. But I think now I'm totally convinced. We are going to talk about Levi. Okay, let's talk about Levi. I think I really enjoyed. I really like Levi. The fact that he sometimes he doesn't need to talk, and he just act. I mean, he's doing his actions, and his actions are speaking. That's really nice. I personally felt when before the attack, Zeke and Levi, they were saying two different sentences. Zeke was saying, look, you attack them now. I mean, finish them, okay? And Levi was saying, please survive. Don't die on me. That was something different. Also in that case, I think Levi is tired to feel pain too. And if you remember, season 3 part 2, he was saying to Erwin, look now, forget your dream, go and die. And it was really hard to say. But now he changed. I mean, he changed this sentence. He didn't say, guys, let's go and die for the honor of the Chosa Heidan or something like that, or let's go and sacrifice ourselves for the best of paradise or something like that. No, he said, please survive. That means maybe. From my point of view, it means, look, I'm tired to see all of you dying because I can't handle it anymore. So please survive this time. Don't let me feel other pain. Because Levi is not the type of guy who can show you his feelings, but he is having enough. I think he is tired of the environment he's living in since day one, and all the pain he felt throughout the years. Oh, if we put ourselves in Levi's position right now, he saw his mother dying like that. He was always alone. He saw Kenny dying after he discovered he was his uncle. He was abandoned by him. He lost lots of comrades. He lost even his love, in my opinion, because Petra, he cared about Petra. I still believe so. He lost Erwin, who was the one who helped him somehow to go out from the underground cities. So, in Paradise, of course, he lost many people. He lost even his previous comrades in the OVA, OAV, whatever. So, mm, he felt lots of pain. But right now, it's better if nobody else is dying because he is having enough. I loved that moment. Please don't die on me. Survive. That was really beautiful. And that moment, you see the two sides. Even if I still think that Zeke is on their side, but you saw these two different kinds of demons because the Titans are sort of demons somehow. And on the other side, you see these devils, these demons from a paradise, two different types of demons, but at the end of the day, they can be the same because they all feel this pressure of the war. So we just have two sides of the same context. That was brilliant. I mean, usually in shonen, you see the good versus the bad, but here I think we see bad versus bad in the same context that is war. So here's something atypical also in this case, don't you think? Usually under shonen, you definitely stay on one side specifically, and you don't move from there. I mean, you don't say, "Look, now I'm going to stay with the villains." Let's use Naruto as always as my example. When there was Akatsuki versus Naruto and the Leaf Village or the war, also in that case, I've never thought, okay, look, I'm going to stay on Akatsuki's side. Even if they are kakoi, they are great and they are cool, but I've never said this. But here, I think Isayama wants to portray war as something wrong anyway. I mean, no matter the side you're going to take. This episode was full of negativity in general, so it's really hard. It's becoming really hard to say, look, you're doing great or you're doing bad. But we are going to talk about it later. Anyway, I think yes, Levi was good. He was well painted, well his entrances, because there are more than one, definitely nice. How easy was to defeat the beast titan with one touch, and even at the end when he's putting the sword like this on Zeke. Look, if Zeke is on their side, but if Zeke is not on their side, Erwin, that promise is promised, and he didn't want to break that promise. But if Zeke is on their side, I still wanted to understand how he feels right now. I mean, I wanted to know more about Levi's thoughts in this moment because, anyway, we felt when Erwin died, we felt it. So let's see what he thinks about Zeke. Okay, if in the case they are on the same side. Then let's talk about Reiner. Hmm. Okay, first of all, I predicted, even if it was a little bit obvious, in my opinion, he was protecting Falco. And I like Reiner. I said it multiple times, even episode one, episode two, episode three. I like Reiner because even by saving Falco, he shows somehow his kindness and the way that it's better to save other people's life instead of mine when you wanted to sacrifice once again, okay, for the best of others. I really liked this side of his, and I like the way that in the last few seconds when you have to decide, instinctively he chose to protect Falco or to protect the other people who were around him. In this case, Falco was there, so he wanted to protect him, and maybe also because he has, even Falco has a mission in Reiner's opinion, that means to save Gabi. So he had to save him because probably he can save Gabi from all this mess. And so there are many thoughts involved, but let's say that instinctively speaking, he decided to protect. So also from these things, you see that Reiner is not a bad guy. Not entirely. I mean, he did bad things, but at this point, all people are doing bad things somehow. So he's part of the club. um, hmm. We see that I think Reiner is really confused right now. That's why he prefers to die. I mean, he knows he made lots of mistakes, and he now understands Eren's point of view for sure. He is a step forward than others. And this is hilarious because at the beginning of this story, Reiner was inferior than all the others. But right now, in my opinion, Reiner is a step forward than others because he saw before others what Paradise was, what kind of people they were attacking. And he discovered the bad system they were living in entirely. I mean, I'm talking about the world in general. So he is a step forward. That means that once he came back and he was passing in his mind all his life through, he was thinking, what am I supposed to do right now? On which side should I stay? That side or the other side? I don't want to think anymore. It's better if I die. And I don't want to think about all the things I did because it's becoming depressive. I mean, I'm going under depression. It's better. Oh, have you ever experienced something like this? I mean, when you have lots of thoughts in your mind and they are one against the other one, and you don't know what else to choose anymore. And many people prefer to end their lives instead of going on and take a position or choose something because you're tired to choose. He has always chosen, but right now he doesn't know his place in the world anymore. And sometimes it happens in real life when you don't know where you are, your place in the world. I think Rainer is in that position right now. So he's feeling pain, lots of pain too. Many people were complaining somehow, or they were doubting, or they were discussing about his later transformation at the end of the episode. But I think it's quite clear. I mean, that's a strange armored Titan transformation because it's reflecting his psychology in that moment. He's not he's not in the perfect mood to transform entirely because he's too tired. He's saying it. So that's not Mappa's way of transforming the armor, the Titan. It's just that Reiner is too tired right now that somehow he's forced to battle once again for the sake of others, for the sake of Gabi and the others, for protecting his comrades as always, because that's, I mean, it's like as if he's a robot somehow. Because he has the button, okay, you have to save everyone because it's your mission, boom, and he has to transform. But that doesn't mean that he agrees with this because he's too tired. He doesn't want to leave anymore. So there is this contrast, and that's why even the ending transformation is a sort of contrast because we see the face as if it's more human than other times, and anyway, we see some armored parts because he is a Titan anyway. So there is this great contrast, and I really liked the last transformation because Titans are used as weapons, but inside of these weapons there are humans anyway. So the fact that the Titan's transformation is reflecting the thoughts or is reflecting the psychology of the moment of the character, that's really brilliant. I really like this. That means there is always a part of humanity inside those Titans, inside those tools, inside those weapons. And yeah, I felt Reiner. Look, I think Reiner is really human as a character, more than others, or maybe all of them are human somehow, of course. But what I feel really in touch with Reiner right now in this season. And I've never expected this because I was about to say, look, you're about to be defeated, boy. But I feel sad. I feel sad. Then the fact that at the end of the episode, Reiner has to transform. Because as I said to you, it's like a robot setting. I mean, when you hear someone in danger, someone who is a part of your side, remember the mission. You have to protect, you have to defend all the other Titans because you are tools, because your weapons, you have to protect Marley, blah, 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 blah. When you push that button, he transforms automatically because that's what his life was. I mean, his life was full of missions. And even if now he's tired, he can't erase from his mind the missions. When you are instructed like this since you're born, I think it's totally normal to see this behavior from Reiner. But at the same time, I appreciate his human side when he said, look, you used me for years and years and years. Now I'm tired. I'm really tired. I stand for him. I really understand him, definitely. And I felt his pain. But the good thing he did was to save Falco. Look, personally, I think Falco is one of the best characters of this season. He is kind. Look, sometimes I have to detach myself from the fact that he has the voice acting of Tanjiro because as I've told many times, that voice acting, he is so great, but he is always choosing the kind of people. So it's really hard to hate the characters like these. In fact, I love Tanjiro for many reasons, but I love Falco for other reasons. But yeah, Falco, he is really nice. He's really kind. He is like the Eren of season 1 somehow, because he was tricked by the context that he's living in and by Reiner and Bertold somehow, like we see in season 2. Then we see the disillusion because he understands, like Eren, the context in which he's living in and the fact that he was tricked, in this case by Eren, by sending letters and stuff like that. At the beginning of the season, Falco was a little bit against Reiner for what he was doing and for the fact that he was supporting Gabi and the fact that Reiner wanted Gabi to become in his opinion, because then we understand that Reiner wants to save Gabi from the context, but he had a certain opinion of Reiner. And what I liked is that when he was protected by Reiner, he could change his mind somehow. I like when the people change their minds because that means they are not brainwashed over and over again. There is a moment in which you start thinking your own things without impositions. And that's the best time. That's the thing I like of characters personally. When they can change their minds, they are really human. And there is still humanity over there, okay? Otherwise, they are like machines. And when they reach that point, they are over. Um, I at the beginning when he's telling Reiner, look, Reiner, there is still me, Gabi, and all the others. You are not alone. If a Falco could exist years before, and he could have contrast Galliard somehow when he was young, I think Falco could have been his best friend. I mean, the best friend he has always wanted, in my opinion. But at the same time, follow me, because I don't understand if you understand what I mean. But in that scene at the beginning of the episode, we see Falco trying to encouraging Reiner and say, keep going on living, and look, you're not alone, etc., etc. In that moment, Falco is still not understanding Reiner's point of view and why Reiner is tired. I mean, he's still not understand the conditions Reiner felt throughout all these years, especially after he came back from Paradise. He's still not understanding. But then there is, look, he's great. I mean, Falco is great because when he's talking with Gabi later in the episode, he's saying something good. I mean, in that moment, I feel as if Falco really understood what Reiner felt throughout all these years because he's saying maybe he doesn't want to fight anymore. I mean, we should leave him like that or something like that. Right now, I don't remember the precise words. On Thursday, I'm going to tell you. But in that moment, Falco somehow understands. I mean, Falco can be an important character, in my opinion, and he can make a difference. I hope so, because I have great expectations. I think, yeah, if I could save one person from Marley, one of the characters I've seen till now that is living in Liberio or in the Marley side, yes, that's Falco. I really like him. He's a humanity, the way he's encouraging people, the way he's supporting people, the way he tries to protect people. But even if he understood with Gabi, he understood Reiner a little bit, then he's screaming and he's asking Reiner to join the battle. In that moment, I said, in that moment, I thought, did you understand that Reiner is tired? I understand you guys are hopeless right now. But did you understand that right now you wanted to use Reiner once again to fight? Even if he's tired, even if he doesn't want to do it. I understand both point of view. I mean, I understand the Reiner who's tired, and I understand the Falco who is hopeless and he's scared from the situation that is asking Reiner to join. So I understand them both. I really like both of them. They are so great. Yeah, definitely. And yes, I like Falco also because he's courageous. I mean, he's brave. He didn't wait 1 second to protect Peak, for example. And this fact, the fact that he's brave, I felt it all. He didn't have a problem to put himself in front of a Peak to try to stop John and all the others. I felt it. Yeah, in that moment I'm sincere. In that moment I stood on Falco's side. that specific moment, I was afraid, please, Falco, don't die. Even if I know that Falco is not about to die because it's too early. I mean, Falco, as I said, he is one of the best characters of this season 4 related to the Marley side or to the Liberio side. So I don't think he's going to be defeated or he's going to be killed so easily. We are going to see him for a long time. That's what I believe. Um, let's talk about Gabi really quick. I mean, not really quick. Let's talk about Gabi. When before starting this season, I heard so many negative things on Gabi. I mean, I heard, oh no, you will never stand Gabi, or she's hateful. I mean, I don't like her because blah, 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 blah. Many thoughts regarding her that they were all negative. So I said, okay, let's start this season and let's see what I feel, what I think. Okay. As I said from episode 1, now since I met for the first time Gabi as a character, I said, look, I don't like Gabi because she's too presumptuous. She thinks that she's the best. And the more you think like that, it's the same as Galliard. Okay, and I've always said that that's why she likes Galiard, for that reason, because they have the same behavior. They are all presumptuous. Oh, I am the best. Oh, they don't know how to manage the Titans. I know it for sure. Blah 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 blah. They have the same attitude. Okay. So that's why I didn't like her. And at that time, I said, look, you are too presumptuous, you're too sure, you're too narcissistic. And one day you're going to regret this. I mean, one day you're going to face something that is proving you wrong, as much as Galliard, okay? As much as for Galliard, the same. And here, yes, I was right, because since last episode when Liberio was attacked, she was proved wrong. I mean, where is your braveness right now? I mean, where is your certainty about yourself? Where is your attitude that you are the perfect person? You want you want everything because you wanted to become the Titan because you know that you can do it. No, there is a disillusion even in Gabi's character here. We see disillusion in her eyes because she thought many things, because she was instructed to be like this. But one day she realized that she can be nothing. Did you see the Erens attack? I mean, she could have been dissolved. I mean, she could have lost her life in few seconds. So in these 2 episodes, she's realizing, okay, so maybe I have to review what I am, because I don't think I am what I thought I would have liked to be. There are moments in life, even in real life, like this. You think you're the best, but then something is happening, as maybe it's karma. Who knows? Because look, at the beginning, Gabi was mocking Falco. Come on, you will never be able to become like that. I'm perfect, you're not. And something like that. But right now, Falco is better than her. I mean, the development of a Falco's character is definitely better than Gabi's. Because Gabi right now is following, or she is discovering the disillusion of life, the disillusion of her dreams, even dream. The fact of the theme of the dreams is really important in this story, because all the characters that have their own dreams, different dreams, but they dream. And Gabi's dream is falling apart in few seconds in this episode, even in the previous one. She is realizing how limited as a human being is, as all the others. So the fact that they are too convinced. Also Gabi here, she's realizing, maybe I should understand that it was better not to say I'm perfect, I'm perfect, I'm perfect, because look at now. I was too perfect that I couldn't save anybody. I couldn't save Zofia, I couldn't save Udo, I couldn't save the guards, I couldn't save even the man who was praising her last time. Do you remember? So she's perfect? No, she's not. She has limits because she is a human and she's part of this environment, bad environment, okay? So I hope Gabi is changing. I mean, I hope Gabi can make the same route, the same path as Falco somehow. I mean, I hope that Falco can stay next to her so he can be an inspiration for Gabi. I understand. I mean, I understand her pain too. Let's put ourselves in Gabi's position. I understand her pain. But I don't agree totally when we say that it's the same pain Erens felt. Because, okay, even if we have some frames in the previous episode and in season one, episode one, that are the same. Gabi's face is the same as Eren's face when he was a kid. Then the attack, we see the attack. Yes, we can compare. We can find similarities. But I don't think that Gabi is the same as Eren. I think all characters are individually unique. And even if I can find some similarities, I don't think the pain is the same. I don't think that the experience is the same. The contexts are totally different, and even the pain can be different somehow. Sorry, I can't compare the death of a mother with the death of guards. No, they are two different things. And if you say that in your opinion is the same, okay, it's your opinion, but I don't agree. No. The death of a mother is totally different from the death of guards. If Gabi's mother was killed in front of her eyes, in that case I could have made, sorry, a comparison with Eren, with episode 1 of season 1. But no, till now I can't. I can't still. Okay, then she wants revenge too, okay? I mean, I'm talking about Gabi still. She wants revenge too. And she has that shotgun. Then I know she wants to go against Sasha somehow because she saw her and it's her target. But I don't feel the same will of revenge as I felt for Eren. I repeat you, these are two different experiences. So I'm not saying who's bad and who's good. I'm not saying who's best and who's worst. I'm just saying that the fact that you see your mother that is killed is not compared to the fact that you're going to see the guards killed in front of you. Do you understand what I mean? These experiences are totally different. And I can't compare them somehow. But I understand that she wants revenge and she wants to go on with her initial mission. But right now, I think and I hope she's going to discover that it's not so easy and it's not what she wanted to do at the beginning. It's a sort of disillusion, and let's see. But her conventions, her perfection thoughts about herself are about to decrease. Even Gabi, she will discover her limits soon because it's a step when you grow. When you grow up, you understand your limits. When you're a teenager, you always think you're perfect, you're unbeatable, you're this, you're that. Then there is the disillusion. You discover your limits. And I think even Gabi, she's about to discover her limits. That makes a difference, probably. I hope so. Otherwise, if she keeps going on like this, probably I would not like her because it means that she's too stuck in her mission or in her dreams. Dreams are important, but there are moments in which you have to face reality and to see those limits, to accept those limits. Is she going to accept those limits? Let's watch. Let's see what's going to happen next. Okay, let's talk about Peak. Even Peak, like Galliard and all the Marley people, aliens living in Marley people, she's too convinced. In fact, look, I took notes. She said, "We have the control of all this. They, that means the paradise people, the devils, are not supported by others." No, because I think Zeke is supporting them, so be careful, Peak. And then she said, "They can't compete with us." You're too convinced, Peak. In fact, in this episode, in few seconds, you are destroyed. See, when people are too convinced and they don't think about a plan B or a plan C or a plan Z, I mean, they are about to be defeated. And I think throughout all this episode, we saw all the violence, the most violence episode ever. Here, the devils of a paradise are repaying back somehow all the violence, all the pain they felt in one battle. I mean, the paradise people felt pain throughout the years, and they lost lots of battles against the Titans. They lost all their dear people throughout the years. Here, in one episode, they destroyed everything. They repaid back everything they felt in 20 minutes. I mean, in one episode. That, if we compare, oh, they used lots of violence and they were really brutal. Yes, they were really cruel. But that's all the pain, all the violence they felt concentrated in one attack only. So, whew, that was intense, definitely. Yeah, when Peak, I don't think she's dead, also in this case. But when she was destroyed, that was really intense too. As much as the Panzer unit, it was really intense. All these cruelty, all these explosions, all these motions, all the faces. Look, Mappa was really great with the faces and with the details. Yes, I saw the Panzer unit inside. Carlo had the pictures of a Peak. That means that they really cared about Peak. They wanted to help her. Yes, there is always a kind behavior in all characters. It depends if you want to put yourself in their positions or not. If you're stuck with your point of view, that means Paradise only, or we see the other side and we try to put ourselves in their positions. But at the end of the day, everybody is free to take sides. Even if someone can say it's wrong, someone can say it's good thing to do, we have all different opinions and we can't judge other people's opinions like this because we don't want our opinions to be judged too. So let's be free to express all opinions, all different opinions, because maybe we can find some points in common, some things in common. So I think this is really nice. But anyway, yeah, this episode was really violent, and you see it from Peak's facial expression when she's taking out from her Titan. We see it before the explosions, in which Peak and the Panzer unit are involved. We see war. War is never good. So we can't say that we root for someone or for someone else. But okay, I'm going to discuss it later, this. Let's just say that Peak too, she's too convinced, like a Galliard, because she was instructed like that. She was instructed to think that Paradise, they are devils, they are demons, they don't have the proper technology, they don't have the proper things to start a plan, they don't know how to plan, they don't have support because they are the world against the paradise. That means that paradise is always alone against all the world. So she thought, okay, they will never be able to be supported by someone else, or they don't have the proper technologies to create a great plan to attack us. Then, oh, Magath and all the others, all the soldiers are coming, so they can't compete. They can compete. That's the problem. They can compete this time, and they showed you already. So she should be more careful, even if she's a strategical mind and she's really intelligent. Okay, from her intelligence, I would have expected her to say, look, maybe this time we are in a bad moment. I mean, this time Paradise people are proving us that they are ready to fight somehow. But she's still too stuck in her instructions since the beginning. They can't compete, we are better, everyone is trying to confine them, we are going to win, they don't have support. Come on, if they reached inside the Marley, they had a support from someone else. They couldn't go inside of a Marley without anybody's help. Okay, they are genius, they are great, but they need help because they are the world against Paradise. So even if they are genius, they need help. So I expected from a peak to be a little bit more intuitive, I mean, a little bit more intelligent from this point of view. But at the same time, I understand she's stuck in that world. And that world tells you that Titans are better and the devils of a paradise, they are nothing. So it's obvious that she's stuck with that thought. Okay, we talk about Armin. This, I think I read many comments that are controversial against Armin. First of all, thank you, Mappa, for drawing Armin so nicely. It was really beautiful to see him like this. I really liked it. I really appreciated all the characters. They are amazing, stunning, great. Armin. Okay. We started with this boy, full of dreams, full of peaceful thoughts. And then now he is turning into a atomic bomb or nuke, as you say, or into a weapon. He is the Colossal, and the Colossal was defined as the god of destruction. Yes, it is like this. Armin is not just the kind boy. I mean, Armin is also the boy who, even if he was afraid to kill a person, he did it in season 3, part 1. Armin is also the boy. I mean, we can't see this boy or this man, because now he's a man, as if he's kind only. You are, guys, the first ones who told me, don't look everything as total black or total white. No, I'm not doing this, even in this case. I'm just checking even the grays. Even if in philosophy, in literature, in novels or whatever, there is only black and white, because the opposites are black and white, and gray doesn't exist. Then, throughout the centuries, we developed the fact that even the grays matter. But if we check in the past, or if we check in different subjects, there is always black or white. But anyway, I'm trying to check the grays, okay? Armin is not so innocent. I mean, he killed the people in season 3, part 1. He killed Bertold, because he was eating Bertold, but even with thanks to the plan he had. And he was the one who was saying, look, in order to reach the goal, we have to sacrifice something. So we knew Armin's point of view. But, one thing is saying this, and one thing is seeing this with your own eyes. These experiences are totally different. And in fact, he did what he did, okay, because it was part of the plan. But that doesn't mean he agrees with what he did. In fact, I don't think that Armin agrees with this situation. He doesn't agree at all. And he's like Mikasa, he's like John, he's like all the others who are against this type of attack. But he had to do it because it was part of the plan. And it's not excusable. I don't say that it's excusable. But the fact that later, with that Bertold sentence, I mean, he dedicated a sentence to Bertold, you understand that he's not agreeing with what he's doing, and he's redeeming himself from what he's doing. I mean, that's what I felt. And that makes you understand that Armin is understanding somehow even what Bertold felt. He is not excusing Bertold, but he's understanding what he was in front of all the times. And this is a step forward. I mean, Armin was always smart enough to create plans, but also to try to understand other people's actions. So in this case, he's understanding even Bertold, because when he said, "Oh, is this what you saw all the times, Bertold?" That means, I don't think it was easy what you saw. And I don't think that you were happy to do what you did. But even in this case, even in Bertold's case, he was not happy, but he had to do it for the purpose other people had. So, as you can see, do you remember what I said at the beginning of the live streaming? I said, I have to do it, but I'm not happy to do it. I'm not happy, but I have to do it. It's necessary, blah, 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 blah. Over and over again. This loop. I think Armin feels guilty of what he did, because those scenes were crazy. I mean, of course, you can't say, yeah, you did it, Armin, great job. In fact, I didn't do it. I mean, during the live streaming, I didn't do any reaction like that, because there are scenes who are emotional and that are emotional and that are really cruel, and you can't be happy to see some scenes. But I'm happy that Armin can understand or can comprehend what other people felt, in this case Bertold. This is a step forward, definitely, and makes you understand that Armin cares about humanity in general, not just because of his one side and he doesn't care anymore about the other side. No, I think maybe if he meets Falco, he can make a good relationship with him, or with the new characters from that side. Maybe. I mean, now that he understood what Bertold felt, maybe he can understand even Reiner, because they were part of the same team. He can understand even Annie. Maybe they can create a new team altogether thanks to Armin. That would be amazing. If they can create a new group with the same thoughts, with the same ideas, positive ideas, not negative in this case. But if they can create a new community, a new team, that could be great. Yeah, in my opinion, that could be nice. And then even when he is talking to Hanji, and he's saying, look, until we recover Eren, okay, that part makes you understand that he is not agreeing with what Eren is doing. I mean, he he's not on his side. And that makes you understand Armin is a step forward also in that case. Or that he realized that what he did was a huge mistake. Even if it was part of the plan, it was too much. Let's say like this. But yeah, that sentence, until we recover Eren, I think Armin feels like Mikasa right now. He is feeling pain because they wanted their friend back as he was in the past. But we always know that this is impossible to happen. I mean, it's impossible to go back to the past because that's past. And even if you want a person back as he was or she was, it's really hard. It's really, I think it's rare to go back to what you were in the past. It's impossible because life is changing you. And there are events and events and events that can modify you. And once you are modified, once you changed, once you experienced many things, it's really hard to go back to the dreamy Eren or to the positive person or as a dreamy person, as a person full of positive thoughts and stuff like that. It's really impossible. Definitely. So I understand Armin who wants to recover Eren once again, to help Eren once again, or to let Eren go back to what he was, as much as Mikasa, but that's an illusion. That's a utopia. It's a dream. Personally, it will never come back as before. He will not. Too many things happened, and no. Okay, really quick, I talk about Mikasa. She's great. I mean, I love her attacks no matter what. She's awesome. I personally like Mikasa because she's the type of person, she's always next to her friends, next to her dear people, no matter if they make a mistake or not. I mean, she's not the type of person that says, look, you made a mistake, we are not friends anymore. No. She cares and she loves Eren, even if he's making lots of mistakes. And as I said already in the previous commentary, that's pure love. Because no matter what, she's always standing by his side. Not just because it was a promise to Carla, but because she feels it. And I don't think she's wrong. Because it's like a mother. When you care about your kid, okay, your kid can make lots of mistakes, can be really bad, but you're still his mother. So you can't show your back in front of him. You always stay by his side. And I think Mikasa is doing like this. Then when Eren was about to smash the cocoon, I mean to crack the cocoon and to eat the Warhammer, we see that Mappa is taking care of Mikasa's face because she is almost about to cry, if you check. She can't believe Eren became something like this. She can't believe this. I mean, she can't believe that's the same person she met many, many years before. But at the same time, Eren helped Mikasa doing bad things. I mean, he wanted to protect her and he killed people. 3 people he killed. In episode 6, 5, I don't remember, of season 1. So Eren was not perfect at the beginning too. I understand that he wanted to protect Mikasa from them, but actually at the end of the day, he killed 3 people, even if he was a child. So that makes you understand that Eren was not the positive guy, the kind guy, etc., 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 since the beginning. No, he killed people anyway, even if he was a child. Then, if the purpose was nice, okay, fine, sure, he wanted to protect Mikasa. But he was like this even before, in a different way, but he was like this too. But I can understand Mikasa totally. I mean, probably I would have been like her. No matter if you make a mistake, if I love you, if I care about you, I will always stay by your side, stand by your side, definitely. Um, but she, even if she hopes to have Eren as he was, she also knows that it's impossible. And maybe that face is like a nostalgic face or a melancholic face because she knows Eren will never come back as before. So it's like when you're facing reality and you're hopeless, you know. Even if you still hope, you know. I personally like Mikasa anyway. Then a few words even for John. Look, John, I appreciated because he preferred to stop. And he's saying it to himself too, in front of a Falco who was saying, please stop. He preferred to stop. And even if later he is asking, oh, that thing stopped, or was I stopping it? Yes. The fact that he's asking this rhetorical question, that's nice, because he also knows he stopped because he didn't want to kill a civilian. That's his opinion. In fact, here, look, in Paradise team, we have different opinions. Okay, we have Eren, that is something else, and we have all the rest. All the rest, they, except for Flock, but all the rest, they don't want to kill civilians. They don't want to kill kids. Armin did what he did, but then he redeemed himself. I mean, he felt guilty for what he did, for sure. If I know Armin as he is, he felt guilty somehow. But John is one of these people who don't want to kill anybody, who are not a part of the military forces. So the fact that he stopped, I appreciated this, yes. Then, just one thing about Megadeth. When he's meeting Falco, and he's saying, who did that to Reiner? He said Eren Yeager did, Falco said Eren Yeager did, etc., etc. Megadeth, is he caring for real about Falco or Gabi or whatever? Or is he caring about them because they are supposed to be the new owners of the Titans? Look, I still have this question mark because I don't know. Sincerely, I don't know. I don't know if he really cares about these kids because they are kids, or he cares about them just because they can become the new owners of the Titans. I don't know still. For some reasons, I prefer to think that he cares. I prefer to say like this. Then, okay, I almost finished. I think, let's see, for all the characters. Yes. Then there is a Hanji. She appeared with the Zeppelin. And also in this case, come on, somebody helped them to enter with the Zeppelin inside Liberio. It's impossible that they come and they do everything by themselves. Somebody helped them. And in my opinion, is Zeke. I mean, look, I have these theories. And nobody can tell me the contrary until I see it with my own eyes. Zeke was pretending to be someone who was not. And he helped them. The baseball ball. Eren, I'm going to save you next time. Eren is not my enemy. He was attacked by Levi as if nothing happened. I mean, that was too fast. That was too... No. Zeke helped Hanji. I mean, he went to the gate of the shop, all right? So he helped maybe both Armin with that boat when he reached the Minato, the port, and he helped even Hanji with the Zeppelin. That's my opinion, because that's the only reason why he went to the gates. Why he went to the gate, we still don't understand, and I hope they will tell us. But definitely, absolutely. Okay, let's finish with Eren. I kept him as the last character because the development of this character is crazy. Look, it's my first time that I see a good character becoming bad and keep going on being bad. I mean, I give you another example. Naruto. We see Sasuke. He turns bad. But then at the end of the day, I mean, he still thinks about the village he left. He still thinks about, I mean, he is just too selfish in that moment, but he still thinks about dear people, okay? Eren lost his mind. I mean, Eren, he's losing control the more we go on. And that's the first time in my life that I see a typical character and a typical protagonist becoming antagonist and being both. This is my personal opinion, but wow, Eren is developing something that we have never seen before. Because when you start with a protagonist, you always root for this protagonist. And when he becomes antagonist, you say to yourself, okay, there has to be a reason why he's behaving like this. But at the end of the day, we know that he's good. In this case, he's starting as the protagonist and we're root for him. But then he's becoming the antagonist and he's becoming evil and evil and evil and evil and evil and evil and evil because his soul is totally corrupted by evil thoughts. I mean, his soul almost doesn't exist anymore. His heart, it doesn't exist anymore. I don't know, because if in the future he's about to protect his comrades, I can say the same as I said for Sasuke. But if someone is about to die or someone they have to protect Mikasa, Armin and all the others, and he will not do anything, in that moment I will understand that he doesn't care anymore about anybody. I mean, about nothing. So he just have one purpose: to destroy everything. Wow. When he was cutting the legs and the arms of Galliard, that reminded me of Sasuke during the tuning exam, when he already had the curse of Orochimaru, but he was trying, let's say, to protect Sakura and Naruto during that type of a mission, during the tuning exam in the forest, if you remember. And he was trying to hit so much that member of that team, and he was doing it with that violence that is typical of a person who lost his mind and he's not caring anymore. Yeah, I felt it. I felt the same thing. Yeah, but as I said, Eren right now Eren lost his mind. I mean, he's totally blind. Somehow he reminds me of Thorfinn, yes, of Vinland Saga. Yeah, but at the end of the day, Thorfinn opened his eyes at the end of season 1. Here, I don't think Eren will open his eyes anymore. His heart eyes. It's a metaphor, okay? I don't know. I don't really know. It was really ferocious. It was really cruel, violent. A devil. Even when he's eating, let's say, the Warhammer, oh, it's like a vampire. I mean, he is like yeah, sort of a devil that can be fed with blood. Well, that scene Mappa made it. With the death scene was so intense. Look, Eren, he doesn't have emotions anymore. Because even when Gabi and Falco are screaming, he goes on. Of course, there is a Reiner interrupting everything. Otherwise, he would have eaten a Galliard as nothing. And from that point of view, okay, look, I did it for all the characters. Let's do it even for Eren. Let's put ourselves in his position. Ooh, it's hard. But if he found the way to destroy this system, to destroy this world, to create something better, that means, as much as Armin said, we have to sacrifice the things in order to reach the goal. Plus, if it's necessary, we have to sacrifice people, and that means that we have to do bad things too. If we follow what other people did, the same thing, right? Even Zeke made bad things, but in my opinion, he is on the side of Paradise. So can we excuse him? I mean, can we excuse Zeke? Can we excuse Kruger? Can we excuse Eren, blah, 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 for what they did? No, of course. It's unexcusable, but externally speaking, if we check everything from outside, is this necessary to destroy everything? Yes. It's necessary. Necessary doesn't mean that it's right. I mean, if something is necessary, that doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. But for the project Eren has, is this necessary? Yes. That doesn't mean that it is correct. That doesn't mean that it is nice. But yeah, he is a protagonist, antagonist. I said I like villains. Yes, I like villains because usually in shonen I like villains. I like Orochimaru, I like Madara, I like Ashelado, I like even what's his name? Muzan. I like villains. But here, what Mappa wanted to create was something else. I mean, it's not the usual antagonist that goes against the main protagonist. That is always Eren in this case. But here here Isayama wanted to create an antagonist of himself. That means he is not an antagonist to other people. He is an antagonist to himself. Because now he is becoming bad, first of all to himself and then to others. He is the antagonist of himself. Something probably he would have never wanted to become. This is really interesting. Really interesting. Because I think Isayama is portraying, for the first time, a protagonist that is an antagonist, but this antagonism, I mean, the way of being antagonist, he's dedicated to himself, not to others specifically. Because no matter who is in front of himself, he is bad. Okay. But he is creating bad things to himself, especially. I mean, in a specific way to himself. He is becoming bad. he is losing his mind. He is losing control of himself. He is doing bad actions to himself because he can't redeem for what he did. I agree with Mikasa. He can't. He to himself. He is creating more regrets, more pain, more frustration to himself. So I think Isayama created something atypical and something that we don't have to describe it as the usual antagonist. No, he is not. He's something probably we have never seen and we cannot analyze in a different way. Ooh. By talking about things in general, I want to say that I really loved this episode for the colors. Look, this episode was a night battle, but anyway, the colors were amazing. That red fog, let's say, that red fog that was created after the Armin's scene. That reminded a little bit of Evangelion after the second impact or third impact. Right now, I don't remember. But even in that case of Evangelion, with the impact, everything was destroyed and everything turned red. That means blood. The rivers, I mean, the ocean, whatever, turned red. And in this scene too, that red fog was really nice because it really makes us understand the blood over there was excessive. I really liked the contrasts of colors here. Even during explosions, the details of the eyes that are so great. Mappa is making a great job about this. I mean, the details of eyes, the facial expressions, the details of even small details, okay? Like Carlo, I said already, the pictures of a peak inside, etc., etc. All these details that are so important, that can help you understand the feelings of the characters. They are doing a great job, yes. Then another thing I wanted to say that is a positive, definitely, is the voice acting. Look, they are great. They are all great because even the screams of Gabi and Falco, I felt them. That was horrible to hear. And those are hopeless screams. And when kids are doing this, you can even feel them more than usual. I think Gabi's voice actress, and Gabi and Falco's voice actor, they are both great. And yeah, I have to say, all the voice acting of Shingeki no Kyojin, they are amazing. They can really make you feel the pain, the happiness, the regrets. I mean, all the feelings involved, you can feel them. And I really appreciated this. Yeah. And then I wanted to underline this too. The Colossal was supposed to be in CGI. Correct me if I'm wrong, it was in 2D. I mean, we were all waiting for this. I mean, people were already there waiting to complain. But look, in this episode, I can't find the defects, personally speaking. There is just one scene in which Eren is trying to to crack the Warhammer cocoon, and there is this face doing like this, but I don't care, sincerely. I think they really made a great job with this episode, and we can't say the contrary. Look, even the faces. Levi is not chubby. Mikasa is marvelous. She's stunning. Armin is great. Eren is... Look, Eren's Titan is really great because he really represents what Eren is becoming. And I definitely prefer this Titan than with the Studio Titan. I'm talking about Eren, the Shingeki no Kyojin. Even Armin's Titan is different from a Wit. And if you tell me that in the manga it's like this, I prefer like the manga. I mean, if the manga represents the colossal Titan like this, I prefer that it's like this. Because I like when, even if I don't read the manga, I like when they show me what the manga was. Because it makes me understand that the story is going on as if I'm reading them, or as if I'm reading the manga, and that's good. It's, you can trust this anime more because it's representing something that really existed before. That means the story of the manga. So I really like this. I definitely prefer like this. Okay, then there is this a huge subject, and with this I want to end this live streaming, that is the theme of war. War is never good. And in this episode, what we saw was war. We saw losses, we saw people fighting, we saw no empathy, we saw defense, attack, defense, defense, attack. We can't say that war is good. So no matter the sides you decided to take, I think Isayama with this episode wanted to underline that no matter the sides you're choosing, war is wrong. And it was clear to me. Even if, okay, last week I said that I am on Paradise side, and for some reasons, I'm still there. I'm still with them. But with this episode, you can't take sides. Except for the fact when Eren can take the Warhammer power. But for the rest of the episode, you can't say, look, oh, I'm on their side. Oh, look, I'm on that side. No, because war, it's a war. And it's bad, no matter what. So for this episode only, then maybe I'm going to change my mind. Sure, definitely. But for this episode, I don't want to take sides because it's war. We don't like war in real life. We don't like it even in stories. Then, if we check it from an external point of view, as I always told you, that's different. That's different because we, in my personal opinion, except for the theme of war, we can't take sides. We can stay on the side of Reiner, we can stay on the side of Eren, we can stay on the side of Mikasa, we can agree with Armin, we can agree with Peak, we can agree with Galliard, etc., etc., etc. We can take sides. If we don't talk about war, we can take sides. But in this episode specifically, Isayama didn't want to let us take a side. He wanted to underline that we are all slaves of something. And we are ready to fight for it, even in the worst way. When you are a slave of something, you don't see anything else rather than that thing. And when that thing is becoming more important than you can become evil. And you don't look at anybody. You just do. You become blind. No matter if it's Eren, no matter if it's the other side, everybody is fighting for their own will. They are fighting for protecting their own goals. And this is wrong. Because the more they fight for their goals, the more they lose humanity. Even Thorfinn in Vinland Saga was the same. I mean, he had a purpose, and thanks to that purpose, he lost his humanity. It's the same. Even if I understand Thorfinn because Thorfinn wanted to revenge his father's death, but throughout those years, he lost humanity. He wasted time because he was focusing too much on that purpose only. And thanks to that, he lost everything of himself. That's Eren part two, in a different way, because Eren is more cruel, more violent, definitely. But that's what I mean when I mean to become the antagonist of yourself. That's what I mean. Usually the antagonist is outside yourself. It's in front of you. But here it seems to be in front of a mirror. You become the antagonist of what you were in the past. You become something that is totally the opposite. So that's what I mean. I think here Isayama wanted to condemn all of them because they are losing the point. They are focusing on battles. But once they are too into it, they lose everything else. The perception of the world is lost. The perception of feelings is lost. Because now we have these purposes. On the side of Eren, we have the purpose of defeat them all. Because that's the type of Titan he is. And that's the goal he wants to reach, to destroy everything. On this side, we find the people who wanted to attack Paradise because they still believe they are devils and they don't want to see other perspectives. They just wanted to go on with the instructions they had since the beginning. Okay? They are all wrong. But I said this from the first commentary or from the second commentary of episode 2. The world is all wrong. And they have to find a way to delete everything. It's like if you push the button on your computer, erase, the same. Because if we go on like this, it will always be a problem. But how can we find the way to do something like this? It depends. If you corrupt yourself, if you lose your mind, and if you lose your personality, you can become evil. Kruger said it, and I totally agree with him. You can become a god or a devil in an instant. It's up to you. That's true. That's true. So in this episode, I can't say I'm standing on Paradise's side or on Marley's side because it's from both sides, there's war. And war is not good. But there are some people in Paradise who don't agree what Eren is doing. And this is a plus to me. That makes you understand that they don't have the same opinion. And they share different opinions. And maybe later, these people who are against Eren are going to complain to him. And they are going to face him. I think Mikasa will face him for sure. Or Armin will face him for sure. I don't know Levi's point of view, but I don't think Levi wants to kill innocent people. I don't think so. So probably even Levi is going to face him. Can't wait in that case, but I don't think they agree with him. I think they will complain to Eren once the battle is finished. Because now it's pointless to complain to him. He is not listening. Maybe later he will listen. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Let's read, some comments. What's your favorite episode of the season so far? But I think the previous one and this episode, they are quite good. I think till now, they are my favorite ones, too. The previous episode and this episode, they are really nice, really intense. But you read me, huh? Children, and then he couldn't come back from that action, almost like it was part of the plan. What do you mean? If you're still alive, tell me what do you mean? Because I didn't understand. Sorry. Jeremiah, hello. So Willie was right. There were conspirators. Yes, absolutely. I think they can't do everything by themselves. They couldn't. That's why I think Zika is the conspirator. I mean, he was always on Eren's side. I mean, once he discovered the name, I mean, once Zeke discovered that Grisha Jaeger went to Paradise, and now there is this usurper that is Eren Jaeger. Once he found the name of this person, that means Eren, he understood that he was his brother, and he understood that it was nice not to go against his brother because maybe they can make it. I mean, finally, also from Eren's point of view, in my opinion, he feels relieved a little bit because otherwise they had in his plan, in his project, otherwise they had to use Historia. And but in this case, we have a Zeke, we have a royal blood. So if he stands on his side, it's easier and it's better for him to do his stuff without involving Historia. That's my opinion. I mean, I think we see it even in season 3, part 4, or part 2, part 4. Season 3, part 2, when he is recognizing that the royal blood is essential, but at the same time, he's looking at Historia as if he is scared because he has to turn her into a Titan. So, but in this case, we have Zeke, so that's better. We don't have to turn into a Titan anybody else. Let's see, but that's what I feel. I don't think Zeke is an enemy, and he said it clearly. I'm not. Eren is not my enemy. Then, yeah, he was focusing on Levi, but that's just part of the plan, in my opinion. The most important sentence is this: Eren is not my enemy. And we have to focus on that. Hope to understand if I'm right or wrong, because these are just my opinions and thoughts. So that's what I felt throughout the episode. But look, Isayama is great. I think he created something great, a great story. And look, do you remember in the past when they said we have to save humanity? In the previous seasons, I mean, that was the goal, to save humanity. In this case, we find the loss of humanity. So if Isayama wants to go on by doing this, I mean, to lose a humanity, maybe that will be the first time in the first anime in which feelings are no more important, but the loss of humanity is the most important thing. This will turn everything upside down. Because usually in anime, we focus so much on feelings. We focus so much on tears, on feelings, emotions. Okay, but here, the more we go on, the more there is the lack of humanity. So, wow, it's a new path to me personally. So it would be really interesting to see what's going to happen next, because I still hope there will be the victory of humanity somehow. But the more we go on, the more I see that humanity is lost. This concept is losing step by step. We are going to lose it. So let's see. I still hope humanity will win somehow. But we lost too many people right now, and it's impossible to bring them back. That's what Mikasa said. So definitely it's hard. Let's see. Anyway, do you have other questions? Feel free to ask me. I wait some more minutes and then I can go. Then, of course, on Thursday, I will come back with the day after tomorrow. We are going to rewatch these episodes, so feel free to join me. But anyway, do you have other questions? Do you want to ask me something in particular? Did I skip something? I don't think so, but if I skipped it, feel free to ask. If you're still live with me, you can keep asking. Hi, Andrew. Hello. You can ask me other questions. Look, I stay 2 minutes. If there are no other questions, I'm going to end this live streaming. I would like to ask you, what do you think about this episode? But I think it will take a little bit of time for you to explain me everything. But no other questions? Are you sure? Sure. Okay. So if there are no other questions, I think it's better if I end here the live streaming. Anyway, this episode was amazing. Yes, this episode was incredible. Absolutely. Thank you, the Mappa staff that is working on this project. You made it. And finally, it was the first time not to find complaints. Wow, thank you. We made it. But I think the more we go on, the more it will be interesting. Yeah. Now we saw the bottle. Look, I don't know what's going to happen now because Reiner is transforming, but his transformation is different, and I already explained you why. But I think that most of the bottle is ending. I mean, we are almost at the end because all the others are collapsing, and I think they can't go on in another bottle right now. So probably now there is the part that is not interesting to most of people who are following Shingeki no Kyojin because of the bottles. And that means explanations, new info, and stuff like that. I can't wait because personally I like that. I mean, I like when I discover things. So the more they tell me, the more I will be happy. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, guys, I think for this live streaming, that is it. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned because tomorrow I come back with the episode with my mother, the final one, and then I'm going to explain you what's happening after. And then see you the day after tomorrow with the rewatch of episode 7, this incredible episode 7 of season 4. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. Keep on watching me throughout the videos coming. And see you next time. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching me. Bye. See you. Bye-bye.